Hi, Shalom, everyone. It was very sad news on Shabbat. There was a great historian, American historian, rabbi, that passed away very sadly. Obviously, it was August the 16th, 2025. His name was Rabbi Berel Wein. Many of you would have been familiar with. Very, very famous rabbi, famous author, a famous historian, and very, very much well known all across the Jewish world, and also in the non-Jewish world in many, many different circles. He passed away. He was actually born back in English date, March 25th in the year 1934. So he was 91 years of age at the time he passed away. He was born in Chicago, in Illinois, over there, and obviously he was a very, very popular American Orthodox rabbi. He was a lecturer, he was a writer, authored many great books, I think especially both in Hebrew and in English, especially within regards to the accompaniment of Jewish history. And I believe there was as many as 1,000 audio tapes he had. He had many, many newspaper articles and many recorded international lectures. Now, I was in the city of Bet Shemesh. He actually even came just about a year ago, approximately, just over a year ago, and gave a lecture, I think, on a current new book that he had at the time. This was, I think, going back to June 2024. So throughout his career, he had ideological ties with both modern Orthodox world and a Haredi world, the ultra-Orthodox world also. So he's very much loved by many different circles all over the Jewish sphere, respectively. So he was born in March 1934, as I said before, in Chicago, and I think his family actually descended from Lithuanian rabbis. I believe it's reported over. Now, I think his father's name was Rabbi Zev Wein. He was born in the year 1906, passed away in 2004. His father, I believe, was a disciple of the famous Rabbi Shimon Shkop. He happened to have been himself a Rosh Yeshiva, a dean, as they say, in Yeshiva of Telch, and later he was of Yeshiva She'ar HaTorah of Grodno. He himself, the rabbi of his father, Rabbi Zev Wein, had an innovative style, let's just say, with regards to studying Torah, Gemara, respectively, and was regarded as a huge Talmid Chacham. I think later on, I think it's reported over that it could have been that his father would learn under Rabbi Avram Isaac Kook. Remember, he was a chief rabbi of the Ashkenazi community in Israel in his day, I think between the years 1921 to 1935. He was also, I think, the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivat Merkas Harav, based in quite near Kiryat Moshe area, Campaign Nesharim, in Jerusalem. Rabbi Avram Isaac Kook was. So that was his father over there. I think his father would later emigrate to the United States and would be a rabbi in the Chicago till the 1970s, respectively. So he very much was nurtured among great rabbinic and leadership, without a doubt. Now, I think it was in the year 1955, Rabbi Berel Wein will get married. His wife's name was Rabbanit Yocheved, or Rebbetzin Yocheved, you could say, also known as Jackie Levine, also. She had been born, I believe, in Lithuania in the year 1934 and would actually emigrate to Detroit with her parents when she was only about 4 years of age. It's reported over the couples will go on to settle in Chicago. They had 4 children. At the time recording, I'm just quoting of the Wikipedia article. I don't know how updated this is, from what date. I'd assume it was updated quite recently because he passed away only on Shabbat, which is 36 hours ago approximately from time recording, maybe a bit more. 29 grandchildren, 70 as many as 70 great-grandchildren. And so that's very interesting. I think sadly his wife passed away in the year 2006, and later on, he would get married to Rebbetzin Mira Cohen, but she passed away in the year 2018. We're talking about 7 years ago. Rabbi Berel Wein lived in Rechavia. I think this was in recent time periods over there. Rechavia is a place that we visited on this channel before on various occasions before. Okay, so Rabbi Wein is reported to have received a rabbinic ordination, smicha, from the Hebrew Theological College. This was a very, very famous college, which I recommend everyone to look and learn about. I think over there it was actually founded by his maternal grandfather, Rabbi Chaim Tzvi Rubenstein. His main teacher over there was a rabbi of the name Rabbi Chaim Kreisworth. He was born himself in the year 1918 and passed away in 2001. He was a rabbi of long time, chief rabbi of the congregation Machzekei Hada'at in Antwerp, in Birmingham, and he was, I believe, a found at Rosh Yeshiva of Merkaz Torah Yeshiva in Jerusalem, and was highly regarded scholar. Now, Merkaz Torah Yeshiva, if I'm not mistaken, we've also visited there in this yeshiva also, which is very interesting. That's based in Talpiot. We recorded there, I think, just before Pesach with several rabbis, and we did a tour around the various area also over there, which I recommend everyone that is watching on this channel look back on the videos we recorded when we went Talpiot and recorded in Merkaz Torah. So that's a very interesting extra insight, let's just say, in of itself. So he would, so that was great. He had some great rabbinic personal mentors, including Rabbi Mordechai Rogo and Rabbi Yisrael Mendel Kaplan. He happened to have been also very great teacher of the Hebrew Theological College of Chicago and the Talmudical Yeshiva of Philadelphia also. So he's very well mentioned. He was a student of another great famous Rabbi Oscar Fassman, I believe, from Chicago. And very interesting. He would receive a bachelor's degree from the Roosevelt University in Chicago. He would earn a law degree over there from the DePaul University. And afterwards, I think he would get the passing, let's just say, he would the Illinois bar. He practiced as an attorney in Chicago for a number of years. So he was very, very well grounded, let's just say, within regards to the academic field and also within regards to the working field in of itself. In 1964, Rabbi Wein would accept the pulpit of the Bet Israel congregation in Miami Beach, Florida, where he would remain for around an 8-9 year period till 1972. So at that stage in time, he'd be about 30 years of age when he takes the job, just over, and would leave the job in 1972. Then he'd go on to move to New York City over there. He was appointed executive vice president of the Union of Orthodox Organizations of America, known as Orthodox Union. Very prominent role. He would serve as a rabbinic administrator of the Kashrut department over there, I think, in that division till 1977. At the same time, he would found the congregation Beit Torah in Sutton, in New York, and served as a rabbi for the next 24 years, so an entire generation, you could say. He also famously founded the Yeshivat Sharei Torah of Rockland, I think, it's a Metivta, I think, or in Suffolk, respectively, that had large high school over there, a smaller post-high school division, I think, in 1977, and I think they would move. He would later on serve as a Rosh Yeshiva until his move to Israel in the year 1997. So he's been in Israel till he passed away about 28 years. Now, I think his son, Rabbi Chaim Tzvi Wein, would succeed him as Rosh Yeshiva, along with another famous Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Mordechai Wolmark. He was author of the Mishnah to Mordechai, if I'm not mistaken, Rav Wolmark was, and that's very interesting. Also, interesting tidbit. So he'll move to Israel in 1997 with his wife, and they would settle in the Rehavia neighborhood over there of Jerusalem, place we visited once again on this channel also. Became the rabbi and rabbinate of the Beit Knesset Hanasi. Very interesting enough. I think in Israel, Rabbi Wein would also establish a Destiny Foundation over there, a marketing forum for his CDs. He would release various different CDs over there, audio tapes, and let's say many books he would author, also various different documentaries and various different film projects, obviously connected to Jewish history. He was a great Jewish historian over here. Rabbi Wein was also a senior faculty member of Yeshivat Or Sameach in Jerusalem, a place which I learned in. He would lecture mostly English-speaking student body over there, and many lectures he would give, especially on Jewish history. He would also lecture extensively in Israel and abroad, and wrote a regular column in the Jerusalem Post since 1999, so about 26 years, so very interesting. During his years in America, United States of America, Rabbi Wein produced many audio tapes, recordings on Torah teachings and Jewish history. He went on to publish a 4-volume series of coffee table books, as I say, spanning 2,300 years of Jewish history over there, for which he was widely known in the English-speaking various different religious communities over there. I think, for example, Echoes of Glory, the story of the Jews in the Classic Era, 350 before Common Era to 750 Common Era. Herald of Destiny, the story of the Jews in the Medieval Era. And then Triumph of Survival, the Jews of the Modern Era, 1650 to 1995. And Faith and Fate, the story of the Jewish people in the 20th century. Rabbi Wein, I'm just reading the Wikipedia article over here. Rabbi Wein is known for his great speaking, let's say, and famous writing style, his sayings, observations, collected together, and I think by someone named James Weiss, into a 283-page book entitled Vintage Wine, the collected wit and wisdom, the choicest anecdotes and vignettes of Rabbi Berel Wein. I think this was printed in Sha'ar Press in the year 1992. In Israel, he penned 3 collections of essays titled Second Thoughts, a collective of musings and observations. That was in 1997. By Green Bananas, Observations on Self, Family and Life. That was just at the end of the 20th century, 1999. And Living Jewish Values, Practices and Traditions. He also authored commentaries on Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers, also Teaching for Our Times, and on the Pesach Haggadah, the Passover Haggadah, respectively, through the prism of experience and history also. Also, Trending the Vineyard is personal and detailed guide for aspiring pulpit rabbis that want to become rabbis all over the world, potentially, in which he shares his philosophy of the rabbinate. Yeah, so over there he would bring about inside this book with in regards to rabbinate first-hand experiences and advice to rabbinic students. In May 2013, he co-authored The Legacy, Teachings for Life from the Great Lithuanian Rabbis with the Chief Rabbi of South Africa, Rabbi Warren Goldstein, also, which was published by Maggid Books, which was from the Koren Publishers of Jerusalem. His autobiography, Teach Them Diligently, the personal story of a community rabbi, was available in June 2014. And the Wine Press, which he discusses in 2020, in my opinion volume, I think it was published by the Destiny Organization. Now it's interesting, I think he also published a work quite recently, if I'm not mistaken, in 2024. He actually spoke in the city of Bet Shemesh, where I was. So the book in 2024 recently was called 8 People We Met on the Way Home. This is talking concerning, like, let's say, 8 heroes of Zionism over there, and he spoke in my city in Bet Shemesh, which I am living in. I think that was back just in June 2024 over there. I'm not sure exactly the date that was published, but there was many other books that he actually authored over there, which I recommend everyone to learn about. And he would co-author other books also. I think a book with Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan he will do. There are numerous DVDs on top of the many hundreds of audios also. I think a DVD on Rashi from 1999, Israel Journey of his from 2003, the Rambam, the story of Maimonides in 2005, Faith and Faith, as we said before. I think that was in 2005, and various other different audios, DVDs and books. He passed away, sadly, yesterday morning, and please learn more about him. Listen to his brilliant discs, his brilliant CDs, brilliant shiurim online, and read his books also. One of the famous Jewish historians, definitely over the last 100 years, Rabbi Berel Wein, Zecher Tzadik Libracha. Okay, please, I hope this was thoughtful and insightful, and learn much more about him. He was a great rabbi. This is just a few of the just highlights of the great rabbi's life also. So wishing you all a meaningful day, and learn more about the great rabbi. Very devastating news.